So last night, 60 Minutes tackled Europe's debt crisis, and there are a few notes we would like to make, a reality check, if you will. Let's see how they kicked it off.
There are only a few things that could derail the U.S. economic recovery that finally seems to be underway. And one of them is the debt crisis in Europe, along with the recession that is now sweeping across the continent. It's similar.
So first things first, let me unwind about every assumption made in under 50 seconds to just begin to toss to this report. So first, only a few things that could derail the U.S. economic recovery. How do you choose? Massive public debt, massive private debt, high stagnant unemployment, the unsustainability of the fiat money system, artificially low interest rates, zombie banks propped up by the government, a government incapable of coming to an agreement on fiscal decisions. I mean, how do you choose which few could derail the economic recovery exactly? And how exactly do you decide this recovery is well underway? As you just heard my last guest say, he does not see this as a recovery. And if it's well underway, why are so many people still unemployed, leaving the workforce, as we just saw in March? Why are interest rates being held artificially low at 0%? And why is everyone wondering if a bad jobs report means more money printing down the pipeline with the Fed, as Bernanke has hinted at recently? And Europe's debt crisis being one of the official deemed few things to derail the U.S. economic so-called recovery. Yes, we agree that the Eurozone crisis is huge, massive ramifications there for the U.S. economy for sure. But this sounds a little like a U.S. politician's talking point, okay? The ones that are trying to find a scapegoat to possibly avoid confronting the U.S.'s own economic problems, okay? The Eurozone debt crisis has been kind of the #1 thing that we've heard from Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner. He's used this line. So is Obama's top economic advisor, Alan Krueger. Let me not nitpick the first 15 seconds too much, but let me just play you a little bit about how Greece's euro problem was characterized.
In the past, if Greece found its accounts overdrawn, the country simply printed more money or devalued its currency to accommodate the relaxed Greek lifestyle.
The relaxed Greek lifestyle. Everybody was just hanging out on all this devalued currency. Okay, if you print money and devalue your currency, in the case of Greece and the drachma, you're just stealing wealth from within the country, from the private sector, and transferring it to the public sector. Okay, bondholders are compensated because they get higher interest rates, but everyone else in the private sector has less purchasing power and experiences price inflation. That's not exactly a subsidy for those relaxed, deadbeat Greeks you saw there. It's actually hardworking Greeks subsidizing the work of lazy Greeks, and it's all within Greece. I should note this is unlike in the U.S., where the Fed prints money and the rest of the world subsidizes the U.S. because the U.S. dollar is the global reserve currency, okay? When countries, investors all over the world hold U.S. dollars, these countries, all dollar holders, including, of course, the U.S. private sector, are all subsidizing the U.S. public sector when it prints money. Just wanted to point that out. So look, I love 60 Minutes. I really, really do. And I do have to give them props for interviewing Greek economist Yanis Varoufakis, who has been a guest on this show on more than one occasion, but for a really oversimplified version of the Eurozone crisis that really too closely repeats what we see as establishment talking points. This is a huge caveat, reminiscent of the hackneyed old adage we've heard a million times: don't believe everything you see on TV. Especially don't believe everything you see on mainstream TV, and that is our reality check.